Hello, everyone. It's me, Generic Pie, back with another episode for you today. This is not an episode of Peep and Tom Bombadil. This is a game. This is a special episode, guys. I've got a guest. It's Disgruntled Veteran, aka Sean. How are you doing, Sean?
I'm doing great. It's glad to be here, Ross.
Yeah, I'm very excited. We had a great game the other day, a game of Lords of Middle Earth, and at the end of the game, we both wanted to make a video of it. So we like rolled the dice to see. I won the dice roll, but then you suggested doing like a joint commentary, and like hell yeah, man! I'm a big fan of your channel. We've had some good games. I think we've only played like two or three times, but we've had some good games. And I thought this was a really good one. What did you think?
Oh, yeah, I loved it. That was definitely a mutual idea. And yeah, I just definitely wanted to share it.
Awesome. So yeah, if anyone hasn't seen Sean's channel, I'll put a link to it in the notes below. But definitely check it out. He's got some awesome videos up on YouTube. So this game was just like a kind of nice for me. I wanted to practice my loam before the tournament. I'm playing Vinali tomorrow, actually. So excited for that. And I think you've already played. Have you played your first game or both of your games?
I have. I finished round one.
Okay, cool. So I'm a bit rusty. You're like, would you say you're like a Loam veteran? Like you play quite a lot of Loam, right?
I do. I actually prefer it. I'm 50-50. I like to go back and forth, but
Yeah,
I've played enough that I'm pretty sure I know all the rules inside and out and the nuances and
yeah.
how
So
to.
that's where me and you differ. I'm getting there. I'm
Yeah.
getting there, but I'm still not 100%. But I think I'm definitely becoming more and more of a fan of Lords. The more I play it, the more I get comfortable with it. And I'm starting to think I might, longer term, I might enjoy it more actually. But anyway, so in this game, I was playing as the Free People. You were playing as the Shadow. So I had started with Fifth Foes and House of Stewards, and you had a New Powers Rising and Nazgul Search. So New Powers, great starting card. Um, and let's see what the roles were. So what did I do? I went with Gimli outside of the Fellowship, gives you a token, obviously. I went with Narya Gandalf. Everything else was standard. And okay, so kind of Um, not a great role for me in the sense I got two Palantirs and like shit I can do with it. um, I think your role's like that's fine, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty optimal.
Yeah, I'll definitely take that. So I decide to draw a card straight away. I get to Paraton Bombadil, which again is like, yeah, this would be all right if I had like OG Gandalf. I could cycle cards a bit, but
Yeah, for
alas,
sure.
yeah, but alas, no. You get Isengard to war. Um, you're trying to like pressure me to move, and I say I'm scared. Yeah, moving's a lot more scary in Lords. So you go for the barrel. Why did you go for like the barrel straight away? Is that like something you tend to do normally, or
Yeah, so I mean it depends, but my usual shadow with Loam is always Saruman and Balrog.
that's
Um,
interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people do Gandalf denial. I don't like it myself. I get those, and if I kill Gandalf, you could get him the next round back, but you also can't get the keepers without Sauron being at war. So
Right, right.
depends on how it musters. But if I get three, like I had this turn with the token, I that is almost always my setup.
Nice. And I guess also like having a new powers rising as well, like gives you way more incentive to get Saruman as well. Like that's just like such an awesome
Absolutely.
card.
Yep.
Um,
And then I've got Nazgul Search that was also going into it. So if I put Rivendell under siege, I could play that card just so if the
oh
enemy's
yeah,
slowing you down.
yeah, and like I feel like attacking Rivendell is so much more of a strategic thing in Lords as well. Um,
100%. Yep.
yeah, I've noticed that like so much more. So I move and I'm hit straight away, and then I get this beautiful tile, like zero reveal, like fuck my life.
Yep.
Um, so worst possible. So one thing I was surprised at here is you still went for Saruman. Was that because you wanted to play New Powers Rising and just get that going straight away?
Yes.
Yeah, man. Because the
I
first I
wanted
was
to use
like,
the army movement to start moving Isengard towards Rivendell.
yeah. Because at the time I was like, he's not getting the chief on me. But now, as soon as I saw you had a New Powers Rising, I was like, okay, I get it. I get it. Um, so I hide using the will. You play New Powers Rising. I start moving dudes. I think I just did a standard. What did I do? Carrot, Old Forest Road, and Edoras. So standard army moves. You combine big armies. God, that's like it's mad. In turn one, you can have such a big army in Northund.
Yep.
Terrifying. Play my incredible card. And then you start marching towards me and do Gorgoroth to. So yeah, it's safe to say this has been a much better first turn for you than it has for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So then you okay? So you other I did you like anyone viewing this didn't see this, but I accidentally undid your card draw at the beginning, right? Do you remember that?
Yep, I do.
What was the card that I because you said at the time that you like is a cruel weather, but I wasn't sure if you were joking or not.
Well, looking at this, I don't think it was cruel weather, and if it was, I don't remember it being that way. I was 100% joking the whole
Okay,
time.
cool. Because I felt bad. I was like, ah, shit. If I actually like screwed up the game by removing an awesome card. Anyway, it worked out. Regardless, you got it anyway. And let's see what I got. I got Eagles are coming and Kieran ship. So like beautiful cards for the early game. You know, so much I can do with this right now. I mean, Kieran ships is a great card, but like, dude, like, you don't want it right now, really.
No.
All right. So have I rolled yet? Here, no. Okay. And then so yeah, then Gandalf betrays me. That piece of shit. So you get another nice roll. Lots of eyes this turn. Thanks to me
Yeah.
as well. But I mean, that's the thing. I've got all this movement, but yeah, it's awkward. I suppose I can try and kill Gandalf, get Gandalf back this turn. And you're just probably looking at what are you thinking at this point when you get this roll?
Oh, so like, okay, just go macro without going too long. Anytime, I think separating companions as free player is a bad move. I rarely ever do it
Uh-huh.
because not only are you taking, like in your case, 2 hit points off. So if anybody is new, you have 26 net hit points without
Yep.
playing any cards. So when you do a alt, you've just killed 2 right there, and then you
Yep.
have the chief and you have the Balrog. So you have a longer, harder journey to dunk, and you've just made yourself weaker. So if the fellowship gets revealed early, I pivot hard to corruption. So here I'm gonna get the chief, probably get Gothmog, put the dudes on your fellowship, and kind of just start building forces. I'm playing a long game right now.
Yeah, yeah. I think that makes perfect sense. Yeah, I have found like I've only played, I don't know, like 10, 15 games of Lords, and I do kind of like tend to half the games I probably these days don't separate anyone, and then if I do separate someone, it tends to be Gimli. And there are games when like that Gimli separation basically loses you the game on corruption because corruption can be so good in Lords for the shadow. Like so I'm kind of torn as to how I feel about it. But yeah, so we kind of talk about how Gandalf is. Oh yeah, I think you were talking about a game you played recently.
Yeah.
Right, so I move. I miss, thank God. You move. Where did they go? Okay, you're moving to Minas Morgul and up to Fords of Bruinen onto the Fellowship. And then what? We talk a bit more, and then I decide to move again. I think I was just trying to kill Gandalf at this point, because I have that second will.
Yep.
You do hit me. I get a 3. That's beautiful. Very happy with that.
Yeah, that was very discouraging for me.
Yeah, that was pretty huge. After my terrible first move, that was pretty huge. Naturally, Strider takes. You say what a dick. You get Sauron to war.
I was talking to you, Ross. I wasn't talking to Gandalf.
Exactly. You're just like you, Pete, just having a go at me. So I decided to get. Oh, you got Gothmog. Okay, so I guess you've just lost the die for the Balrog.
Yes,
Would you have
correct.
still got Gothmog otherwise, or would you just not have bothered?
I would not have bothered. As it turns out, I think I went Gondor this game, but no, I would have used it more efficiently somewhere else.
Got it.
See, I'm about to play Nazgul Search. I would have probably mustered Nazgul
Mustard Nazgul
since
instead, because you're setting up for the long
I was
corruption game.
well, and I'm about to play Nazgul Search on you.
Right. So yeah, okay, makes perfect sense. Yeah. So now the chief. Okay, you decide. Yeah, the chief does show up. I get Gandalf, goes to Fangorn. Now you play your Nazgul Search, nice, and you get to cycle perfectly into War Missile and Toil, and you get that early as well, which is really nice. And you set up so that because I'm obviously going to reveal, so
And if you don't, I'm happy for you to go into Moria. So,
yeah, exactly. It's kind of win-win. I'm kind of yeah, between a rock and a Balrog. Um, so yeah, I reveal into the chief, hide using my mustard die, and then you play Warmest Tool, and then cycle into the lidless eye. Nice. Okay, so then okay, if we go on to turn number 3, I guess you get Isildur's Bane and Olokai. So pretty, yeah, good cards.
Oh, very happy with
Yeah,
the card.
yeah, Isildur's Bane's great for this situation. And then what do I get? I don't see what we're talking about. Oh wait, so was that? Did you get 2 more cards there? Oh, this is when. Okay, I remember I accidentally undid a card that you drew, and then you were searching for the card. Okay, so
Did I just? Oh yeah. Okay.
yeah,
I
this
was
is
like, wait
just
a minute, I did. I just double drew there.
yeah. I
Yeah.
was for a second. I
Remember,
was
I
like,
told you. I was like, man, I really don't even want that card, but I just lit this die. I'm like, at this point in the game, it's useless to you. So
yeah, it's like an absolutely terrible card to have at this point. But yeah, so you go through the deck, get your card back. I need to stop undoing stuff in game. And what did I get? Okay, so this is when I was like, man, what is this game? Like,
my cards suck.
these cards are terrible. I've got Grey Company and House of Stewards, and these are all cards that are like pretty much unplayable in most games. I've got the last. Okay, Daylight's good. Kid on Ships is good, but yeah, I just feel a bit helpless at this point.
Nothing is going to help you this round.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. I'm
I'm
kind of
not
hoping for
backing
something to like help me like now rather than later. So I lose my Narya die. I get a bunch of movement. I move straight away before you can do something, which you're obviously going to do something to me. You hit on
That's
1.
such an ugly.
That's it. And
That's
it's a reveal. I'm just like, oh my God. And I think at this point I was like, screw this game. I'm just gonna get weird. I'm gonna do some mad stuff because the way I was feeling at this point was that like if I don't do something mad, I'm just gonna bleed out in a like slowly and in an unfun way. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Like,
So in Loam, there's a couple cool things like
yeah,
going the high pass. If using Gimli, there is one advantage. You do have the possibility of strengthening do so that your fellowship can just camp up there.
that's true. I could have like, yeah, then I could have Gimli defending Dale if I'm healing in Dale or something like that.
Right, rush them to war, get something going, get it up there. There was a game that Jork played. It was so fun. It was comical. He declared an air war
Whoa,
just to get away. Yes, and then he sat up there for like 5 turns or something ridiculous, and got healed, and he won the game.
that's
It's
incredible.
yeah, if you ask him, it's legendary. But anyways, it does
I'm
strengthen
guessing
you.
that
So
was a Lord's game rather than a base game. I feel like you free
couldn't tell
people
you.
have. You'd imagine the free people have more ways of like surviving in a Lord's game than a. But I guess it can happen in base though. It can happen in base.
Sure.
But that's amazing. Yeah. So I could have done that. I think what made me do what I'm about to do was just the cards I had. I'm sat here. I'm
Yeah.
like I think in this game, you kind of got to play the cards you're dealt a lot of the time. And
Absolutely.
I just decided, okay, I said, okay, let's make this fun. And you said, always like it when a free people player says that. Usually it means that you're going to win as a shadow player when the free people player says that.
It does.
Yeah. And so I send Strider and Boromir down to Path Celebrant. I think I made a slight error here. Because as soon as I did this, I was like, because it was like a rush of blood to the head kind of thing. I just did it on a spur of moment. I was a little bit tilted. And I just thought, screw it, let's do it. But I should have done it like later in the turn. I should have let you play a few more dice. Maybe I don't know where you would have used them exactly, but I
I
took
was not.
quite
You
a big
definitely
risk.
you did. You threw me a curveball. I was not expecting that. So had you waited it down, the rest of this turn wouldn't have played out the same.
Exactly, and I kind of made a bit of a rod for my own back by doing this. Um, but as you'll see, viewers, it's still an interesting game. So obviously, as soon as you do that, you start getting the south runs down. Like you probably would have done that anyway, I guess, with those 2 musters, maybe.
Most likely.
Yeah, it seems like the obvious thing to do. And you're like, suddenly takes away the threat of Warmest and Toil. Yeah, that is one benefit. So I use Ring to get them to Minas Tirith. And now I'm thinking like, crap, because I can get I can crown him, obviously, but you have enough dice to then put Minas Tirith under siege this turn. And that kind of kills the whole plan. Because even if I like play the Grey Company, play House of Stewards, if I get trapped in Minas Tirith and Aragorn just dies, that's I've made the game even shorter. I'm really screwed.
Yep.
So I did not want that to happen. So you get the Southrons down. I crown him. You play many kings. So yeah, you buff up your dudes. And I start saying what I just said to you about how I think I've done it too early in the turn. And you say, do you move to Osgiliath? Which, yeah, we'll see. So you start moving the armies out. I pass. I think I probably should have just moved to Osgiliath then. And you start going round. Okay, were you tempted to just go for Osgiliath?
Had you went to Osgiliath, I would have went around.
Oh,
But
okay.
in this case, I was like, well, you're gonna probably retreat. I'm probably not gonna get 2 kills.
Yeah.
So, plus, I don't have to put you under war at war, excuse me, by going around.
Yeah, because I think what I would have. Okay, I remember my mistake. Yeah, for some reason I had in my mind that what House of Stewards I could play with a muster die / army, like a hybrid, which I cannot. So I try and do that now, which is stupid. I know that card's a character card, but I think because it's a mustering card, most muster cards are muster. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Cards that muster units tend to be muster die cards, right?
yes.
So I think that's what threw me off, and I'm like, oh crap, because my plan was to fight a field battle with you, and I thought with House of the Stewards I could do that, I could get away with it. Without House of the Stewards, I'm like, shit, man.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure
With
I can hold up here.
Brave Stand and Daylight and Heroic Death, it's possible. I will
Yeah,
do it all day long.
exactly. I had good cards to hold on there, right?
Right.
But now I'm like, aish, not good. And I said, and obviously I can't use a ring because I've used a ring this turn. So then it's either, yeah, I've got to kind of give up Minas Tirith for the greater good, just to make my whole big gambit like worthwhile. Because if I get them trapped, I've just wasted. I think that's like GG pretty much if they get trapped. So anyway, so yeah, I do 2 army moves. I move to Osgiliath, leave 1 guy in Minas Tirith, move Western Met to Helms Deep. You're probably licking your lips at this, thinking like, "What are you? Are you like
Oh,
what?"
yeah.
You're thinking, "I got this, right?"
Well, I'm just thinking, hey, I can put Minas Tirith under siege. I've got an easy stronghold.
Yeah, and
And
you've got this
you
big
can't
beefy
keep
army in
mustering.
Wester Rondor.
Yep. And I'm just going to take Pelargir so that if you start mustering up the west side, you can't unite because you can get pretty rowdy right here. We'll
Yeah,
talk about it more as it becomes relevant, but this was definitely opportune for me. Yes.
yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
So you put Minas Tirith on the siege, and then you decide not to attack into me just yet. I guess I could have a scout. You don't want to just create trouble for yourself.
Yeah, there's no reason to. You can't muster in Osgiliath. You're not at war. I don't want to put you at war yet.
Oh, that's
I
a
want to
good
wait.
point. You don't want to put me a war yet anyway. Yeah, you want me to have to do
That's
that
right.
myself. Yeah. You were very patient in this game about that as well, by like not attacking into Rivendell too early, like making me have to do the elf mustering myself if I wanted to get Galadriel, for example.
Exactly. Right.
Although with Galadriel I can get her as long as Sauron's at
You
war,
can
right?
correct. You could get either one right now, but I didn't want to put you to
Yeah.
war because there's the Círdan ships, and Gondor can get pretty rowdy if you get a couple
Yeah,
elites
and obviously
Círdan
I
ships.
have Kieran ships, so I was kind of hoping for that at some point.
Right.
Yeah. So you move some
So I'm just biding
leadership.
my time.
Yeah, so you do some nice leadership movement. You get the chief back on the fellowship, and then you get some other leadership in West Rondor. And we
Yep.
go on to turn number 4. Okay, then you get Shadows Gather, great card. Floss Crebain, not too bad for this situation, I guess, if you just want to just slow me
Oh,
down.
so one thing that the free player or center players to be careful about in this game is the win from the west card. So anytime you can get a permanent card on the board, sometimes I might play Flocks of Crebain just to guard against that and never use it if I
Right,
really need.
just as like a blocker, basically, and then just never,
Exactly.
never play it. That's really nice, actually. Yeah, this is good for me to learn, actually, for
Because
Lord's
Ormus
kind of
Toil
skills.
is probably pretty good, but I'm a feeling like if you're still going to push the ring, eventually you're going to have to declare and it'll kill it. So you're going to rest
Yeah,
up in Woodland Realm Dale.
yeah,
So
exactly. And I got There's the Way and Imrahil, so I'm gonna put a very overstuffed hand at this point, but I'm fine to get rid of Eagles Are Coming, and I think I got rid of Fear 5 Foes as well, maybe? Yeah. Okay, so I get this roll. Would have been a good roll to move the Fellowship. I can play my cards at least. So I think we make a little... Oh yeah. I needed to roll one more die.
Yeah, you forgot your Strider die there.
There we go. Okay. So I played House of Jude. This is actually a mistake. You can't play this because, yeah, I'm not in a Gondor region, so this was an illegal play. I think I confused it with Grey Company, which you can play it as long as Strider or Aragorn is in an actual Free People's Army. So that was my bad. And then I draw into Range to the North and Rise to Theoden. I think about this for a while. I think it feels bad, but I actually got rid of Rangers of the North because it just felt like not much was going to happen in Jew this game, and I might be holding on to it forever. Would you have discarded that? Do you think it's too good to discard?
Honestly, I don't know if I would have played that card this turn. The Stewards, even illegality aside, I don't think I would have played it because you had a full hand, and I like every single one of your cards.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. I think I was like so eager just to buff up this army that maybe I rushed it a bit. Maybe I would have been better playing the slow game.
I'm not going to get 6 hits in one go on a fort. It's just not going to happen. So
yeah,
but
that's true.
I get why you did it too. I understand that. So.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. I did have a decent set of cards. I could have played something first and then done it. I guess because yeah, not ideal.
If anything, maybe move into Pelargir. I don't know what I would have done. You choose.
I could have moved into Pelargir, and then my worry about moving to Pelargir is just I can get kind of this army could just get stuck around here, forced back to Dol Amroth, and I kind of want to cause chaos with this army.
And there you go. Yeah, you didn't separate just to play nice.
Exactly. I think just playing pure defense in Gondor is going to not be enough for me. I feel like I've got to like either threaten a Free People military victory or just do other stuff. I'm kind of like doing this on the fly. I don't really know what the plan is, but I want to just have options basically.
Sure.
And then you get reinforcements to Barad-dûr. So you're like, now you're thinking like, okay, you got to cover your bases just in case, right?
Yep.
Yeah, which is really smart. I decide to, yeah.
This is probably the most epic part of the game.
This is like objectively a really dumb thing to do. I should have just moved the Fellowship here because you've only got one eye on me. I just decided to play the last battle because I can, you know. I'm also thinking about playing Grey Company this turn, and I want because I've got these extra Palantirs. I could have played Dol Amroth, the Imrahil Dol Amroth, I guess instead. That would have been a decent play. But for some stupid reason, I was like, I'm gonna play the last battle, and maybe by playing the last battle, I can then actually really get the Fellowship moving. Because it's not a bad situation to play the last battle, right?
No, not at all. I mean,
yeah.
You potentially get 2 moves this turn off of on 6s.
Exactly, and it's like, how often do you even get the opportunity to play this, let alone play it when it might actually be useful? So, yeah, you say like the 1 in 1,000 card play. I might name this video just the last battle. So you keep mustering in Dolgul. Oh, so you're getting Nazgul and 1 Emirs Morgul. Yeah, so you're just kind of doing some steady mustering. I now play the Grey Company, so now I got a full hand again. I was hoping to get Help Unlooked For, but it's not really ideal, to be honest. Like, it feels like it should be good, but it's not really. Because
if you had even another guy, even 2 guys in Minas Tirith, it might be worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
Rolling 4 dice, I will fight you until I'm destroyed.
Exactly. Just to kill my force pool, make it so like Aragorn is killable. Yeah, so I got it. I was kind of like, I was actually hoping for it, and then as soon as I got it, I actually had a second thought. I was like, actually, that's not really that great. Really not that great. So yeah. You say stop that, yeah. So yeah, so you do some more mustering in Barad-dûr and in Umbar. So yeah, you're not taking any chances here. Because it's like look how slow the Fellowship is. You don't need to take any chances, right?
Nope.
Um,
Pure defense right now.
yeah, you get to play Phlox. You sort out the cards, then you get into Lore of the Elven Rings. Because I'm still like not 100% with all of the new cards. Like something like a card like this. How do you value this card, the Lore of the Elven Rings? Do you consider that like a decent card or?
It's meant to cycle, and it's meant to be a Wind of the West blocker, and that's really
That's
all it's ever
pretty
used
much
for.
it. Okay.
Or Fear of their Masters. It's a good one because that is one that does. No, that's one of the ugly ones. That if they roll a 6, they get a double hit.
Yeah, so it can big swing either way potentially.
Very.
Yeah. So you say let's live a little, then you say no. So we're both kind of scared this game.
Yep.
So you're joining up on, yeah, you're getting guys in Gorgoroth. That's nice. And you start to bring the South Rune. So you're, yeah, really not taking any chances here. I mean, Jew's going to be tough regardless, but this army, like any little chance any like fleeting thought I had of going for Mordor, like you with that move, you like 100% killed it. I'm not messing around with that army at all. Oh, then we talk about whether the Boromir ability to muster
Yeah.
Gondor.
So
Yeah.
I was wondering whether or not you could use the characters, which you could if you were in a city or stronghold, to muster Gondor.
Yeah.
I was worried about that. That's how I played my cards, but as it turns out, you can.
Yeah, so that would have been one positive of going to like Pelargir potentially. I could have gone there. I could have tried to get the Elsewhere play kit and ship, started mustering, got them to war using a character die. But I figured you would have just attacked me and just thrown all of your South runs at me.
I would have taken Minas Tirith for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd have attacked or not. Who knows?
Who knows? Anyway. Cool. So yeah, you can't do that. We found out. What happens here? Okay, I hide with the Fellowship. Then you play us as Bane, and then you reveal me, and then I lose the last battle, man. I was so sad. I was so sad. That was like
I
my
shed a tear, Ross. I was like crying. I was just like, that's so horrible.
the one time I play it, and then not even you don't even give me the turn. I didn't even get one move out of it.
Nope.
Not that the first move would have mattered anyway, really. But yeah, that was pretty funny, pretty cruel, but pretty funny. So yeah, not going well for the Fellowship at all. Let's see your cards. So
I just killed
it. You just killed it. Yeah, you got a decent set of cards, very decent set of cards actually for the most part. This is one of the biggest mistakes I made in the whole game. I think if I could go back, not moving this turn was just incredibly dumb. If I could have like tweaked the game, I should have just played the Palantid, play Imrahil, and just moved this turn because it's just such a no-brainer. Gets me to Carrick where I'm free from horrible cards. I'm moving against One Eye. Very good chance I don't get hit. Just like really bad move by me.
Well, you did have 6 good cards, and you didn't want to lose them.
Yes, yeah. But then I kind of made that rod my own back by playing both of the draw cards. With the what you call it, stewards and Great Company. Yeah. So that was. I think this is just a bit of a messy turn from me. And I say I don't really know what WTF I'm doing. So you go for Minas Tirith, Fear of their masters versus Confusion. I get 2 hits. You get your hit, and Minas Tirith is down. You're up to 2 victory points on turn 4, and then we go on to turn number 5. So I get Grimby.
I feel safe enough now to keep you at war. I've got enough forces nearby.
Yeah, exactly. So you get Shadows Moving, and on they went. You get rid of Monsters Roused. I get Grimby and there and back again. Fetch is okay. So I get some musters, which I'm pretty happy to see. I start mustering in Pelargir just to make that annoying for you. You attack into Pel. Let's see what cards we've got. I do have a Scouts now, but you just drew into a Swarm of Bats, so we both just got the cards. You get 2 hits. I get 1. You press. I decide to go just beef up this army as much as I can.
Yep. Very smart. Yep. So now, like, my whole thing about that was just to separate East and West.
Yeah.
So that you could.
There's no way of building like a mega stack, right?
exactly. And now though, I'm also worried because Kieran ships, and you can play that in West Rondor and take Umbar with a 4/5/4. You could take Umbar even Gandalf
Yeah,
and stacked.
that's true. That's very true. Yeah, yeah. Um, I
Perhaps I'm
suppose.
being just a little. I'm being a little weenie here, but I've lost a couple free player games, or lost 2 free player military victories, and it's been extremely frustrating because that little stack can wiggle out anywhere and create chaos.
Yeah,
And a good player, I mean, utilizes that fear to
that's it. And once you've been stung by that once or twice, it like that you become really vigilant and like it can. It's interesting how you kind of how differently the free people's player and the shadow player can see the game. Because I'm looking at this and going, I could go for
um,
Umbar, but if I go for that, where am I going to get my other victory points? By the I'm not. I don't. In my mind, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to hold it long enough before you kill it. Um, but
probably.
maybe I'm being too pessimistic. But you're thinking I got to be careful in just in case I do that. Because if you do send this army off to Dol Amroth, I could potentially take Umbar, kill your Minas Tirith guys if they come and try and fight me. Um, and then I could win the
Yeah.
game somehow, right?
Honestly, I think you're doing the best thing. You're tying down. Look how much you're tying down right now.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I've kind of tied down Mordor. I've tied down like Minas Tirith doesn't really want to attack into me because I'm in Osgiliath and I've got that fortification bonus. This army's also doesn't want to
Yep.
attack into me because I've got the fortification bonus. Like it's a very awkward situation. And then also I have the lingering threat of scouts where I can just scout away and just do nonsense.
Yep.
Yeah, so I muster in Dol Amroth just to keep that safe. You take Lossanac, which is I could have taken that at some point, maybe just to be annoying. Um, but it would have just been it would have been a die for a die, basically. Um, okay. What happened here? North Rune to Vale of Kelad. Okay, so you're moving the North Rune guys across. Was this to try and join up with Dol Guldur, or was this to kind of be annoying and?
It was to maybe threaten Dale if I needed that point, and to
Yeah.
also put regulars on the Fellowship. And I didn't have anywhere else to move, and so I'm like, maybe they'll defend Dol Guldur, or who knows? They're just useless sitting over there.
Yeah, because I suppose it's not really an obvious move for you at this point. I mean, I guess you could move like the South Rons to North Ithilien or something, but you probably want to
Yeah,
be
I
more
could.
efficient and have a bigger stack if you're going to do that.
So what
Um,
I was gonna do is, if you went from Mordor, I was gonna Shadows Gather from that 5/1 into Minas Morgul,
oh,
and
nice. Right,
and
right. Then
field battle you, lose 5 hit points first, and then grind you down, and then go into siege.
got it, got it. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I do like that move because as soon as you did that, I was like, when you because you will move it to Northern Ravanian, and then I'm like, man, that those 4 guys they can take Dale, and that just becomes really annoying. Like,
Yep.
so yeah, that did kind of it was a good play. So I move the Fellowship. You play Phlox. I get hit. Only a 1.
And,
I'll definitely take that.
yeah.
Um, okay, you do muster a big elite in Minas Morgul. Now I'm like, I'm kind of thinking to win this game, I really want to get the elves going because they've been stuck on here for ages. Um, I
Yeah,
also
this is a
want to kind of bring
beautiful
in,
play.
yeah, bring Erebor into the game and just kind of like get this machine going so I can start mustering everything in the north, basically in the Dew line. Um, and also, it's not looking good for the Fellowship regardless. So I'm like, well, I felt like at this point, my most likely way of winning was somehow winning a free people military victory. Um, so maybe silly, but I decided to go for it. Um, so yeah, and now suddenly everyone is really close to war. What did you do there? You buffed up in Pelargir and moved to Northern Ravanian. I passed. You mustered. What did you do there? Muster in Umbar.
Umbar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Drew into.
Corsairs.
Uh,
Corsairs down the road.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Makes perfect sense. Madness and Horrors drawn. I moved the dwarves to war. Um, Rivendell is put under siege. And now finally I get got Galadriel. I think this is again me being like a bit of a lone noob. It's like I could have got Galadriel ages ago, but I keep thinking that the elves have to be at war to get
Oh
her, which
yeah.
is just I think I've done that in like 2 or 3 games. It's just one of those like stupid brain fart things I keep forgetting. But yeah, because
It probably hurts you. It
yeah.
probably hurt you a little bit, but you didn't have an excess of muster dice the last turn or two.
No, I did. They all had their purpose, but I think at some point it would have made sense for me to get her just to get an extra die in the game. So yeah, that was better late than never, but definitely late. Black Captain, where do you attack? You go for a Skiliath. Okay, so what's your thinking here? Just like, let's just get this thing done.
Yeah, let's just start causing some attrition
Yeah,
because I'm way ahead on the fellowship, and let's see if I can get a few hits. Start whittling you down.
yeah, makes sense. Because I mean, that army's got to, you're going to have to deal with it at some point, right?
Yep,
So you have some decent cards. You've got a Swarm of Bats. I'm guessing you play that.
that is. Yeah, I play that first.
Yeah, so nice, kills the daylight. And you get a really nice roll. Three
Beautiful roll.
sixes. Yeah, and I get 3 back. So I mean, 3 hits is fine, but like I was really hoping this to preserve this army for longer. So I'm like, oh Jesus. You press. I have a think. I think my only option really is to go to Druiden.
Yep.
I thought for a second you were just going to move one guy, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then you move the whole army. I'm like, ah, shit. Then we go to turn 6. We won't go back in Shadow of Dol Guldur, and I get Wind from the West and a Power 2 Great. Yeah, so obviously this card is really handy, but because you've got Warmest on Toil, it doesn't feel very good. Because
Right.
that's hence you part of the reason you play that, I suppose, in Lords is because just to block this card,
Sure.
right?
And it doesn't go away, in LOME.
Yeah, yeah. That's something I didn't know. That was really useful to know actually to learn this game. So I declare in Carrick, your guy. At this point, he doesn't follow me because you're just you're going for more military stuff, right?
I think I do follow you here, don't I?
I
Let's
don't
see.
think so.
Oh, I did not. Okay.
So immediately I lose the die.
I may have made a mistake there. I
Oh
just
yeah,
took off Skilly.
I guess.
Skilly is probably strategically most important tile in this board game because of how many outs you have. So I was super happy to have it.
Yeah, there's just so many things you can do from a Skiliath, right?
Yep.
So okay, so then I get a metric ton of character dice, so I can move the Fellowship quite a lot this turn potentially. But I also need to do something with this Aragorn army. So we talk about the last battle a bit more. I moved the Fellowship initially. I missed. You now get the chief back on me,
Yep,
and
that was a mistake, obviously. Yeah.
yeah. You move leadership around. I move the fellowship again, so I'm just running at this point. I get hit. It's an eye. Boo. You draw. So I'm up to 4 corruption at this point. I think I just didn't take the hobbits just to get out of Morgul wound range.
Yeah. Okay.
And also, I guess Warmest on Tour wouldn't work with the hobbits anyway.
No, it wouldn't.
So you're kind of buffing up the Osgiliath army. Obviously, you're going to attack into Druiden Forest. Moving these armies across. So now I'm like, oh, Jesus. So now I decide I'm going to run. I'm just going to run. So I decide to make a dash for Helm's Deep.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, so then it
And I'm
becomes...
thinking the whole time, the whole dynamics change now. I'm just going to throw everything westward.
Yeah.
And Umbar Force kind of keeps you pinned in Dolan Roth because of threats of Corsairs. So
Yeah, exactly. So I can't really do anything with that army now. Too scared of Corsairs. So you start giving chase. Now it gets a bit Benny Hill. I run away again and move. I decide because you've got this 4 army here, I don't want you just getting into Dale. I would like to use that force pool. And I figure on the one hand, I was like, do I want to do this? Because I want to. Would be kind of nice to muster up a bunch of dwarves. Before I move that army down from Erebor. But I figured maybe I can just muster in Dale instead and just get Gimli in a good defensive position.
do you know what I thought you were doing? Was baiting a Witch King. Baiting the Witch King to move there so you could attack me and potentially kill him in Northern Ravania. That's why
that's interesting.
I was carrying. Yeah, if you'll notice, if I remember correctly, the next few turns I don't move the Witch King there because I'm not strong enough. I mean,
that's a really good point. Like you were actually one step ahead of me there. But you're right. I mean, especially once if I got the North to war, there's a reasonable chance that with the right cards, I could just kill the Witch King, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
you get a hit, play like no quarter or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
very possible.
I wish I was smart enough to have actually thought of that myself.
I mean, it's not like the Witch King could die in this game or anything. So
Right. So you moved Miss Morgul out, and you're chasing me. And with my final character die, Galadriel lasted 1 turn. Good job, Galadriel. You die. I just say run, and I get a big old army in Helm's Deep. You
And
take.
this is dangerous.
Well, look at the
If
size of that
anybody,
stack. Suddenly, it's suddenly huge, right?
yeah, if anybody, one of my past videos against Romp Steel, he utilized the same setup.
Well,
Little different.
kind of
He
running
had to
away
be at the,
to Rohan with the big Aragon army.
yeah, he had to do at war. Big stack up there, so it was a lot more challenging. But he utilized Rohan very well. So this is, I am now
Similarities.
I am very underpowered at this moment. Yeah,
Yeah,
with Isengard, I'm in decent shape defensively. But if I move in, you have a doorway open to wiggle out. So there's a lot of possibilities here.
exactly. It does change the dynamic a lot. I suddenly like as soon as I moved the army from Westermit into Helm's Deep and saw the sides of the stack, I'm like, okay, I feel okay now. And naturally, by taking Edoras, you're kind of putting Rohan closer to war, which means I can muster and just keep growing once they get to
Absolutely.
war. So yeah, it does really change things. So naturally, you muster in Orthanc, pass, you move reinforcements across, and you got like a nice bit of backup there.
And the
And
whole time, you also have to keep in mind, if I move too much away from Minas Tirith, you don't have it, but you potentially have Dead Men of Dunharrow, and you can just wiggle right out and take Pelargir back.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, really good shout.
Play cured on ships, and then all of a sudden I have to keep that in the back of my head. If you take Pelargir, play cured on ships, you've got a force. You can just sweep right into Minas Morgul if I don't have the right dice to counter you.
Yeah, exactly. So there's so many things you've got to be thinking about from like a defensive perspective of Shadow. Because in this game, like you think from a dunk perspective, you probably got it in the bag. Like law of averages, there's no dunk happening in this game. So you just got to like not get beaten
Not
by any
die.
sneaky tricks. Yeah, and he's just like
That's it.
free people military
That's
nonsense
it.
basically. And I just say what a
Right.
silly game. So I use a ring.
A wizard is never late,
Yeah.
nor is he
Right.
early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
So I just felt like maybe I'm not sure about this play looking back, but I just felt like I really wanted to preserve my forces, and by getting Gandhi there, it means I'm gonna be able to preserve the size of this army so much more against this army. You're just gonna do half as many hits against me, because obviously the real advantage the Shadow has is that you've got infinite resources, so like you can just like grind me down. So by getting Gandalf in there ASAP, it gives me that because I don't know. Were you planning on just attacking into Helm's Deep this turn?
Ooh, that's a hard call. Without Gandalf, probably not. No, because I didn't want to put you to. You are at war, so never mind. Yes, I probably would have.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
So maybe that was justified then.
if you were going to let me, I was going to take Forts of Eisen and then unite those two armies together
Make one massive stack, right?
in Westamnet, because I can't leave Westamnet open, or else you can just punch right through.
Right.
Be chaos again.
Yeah. I mean, I think. Do you
It's
think that
not
was?
likely.
Do you think that Gandhi play was worth a ring? I'm not sure if it was. Looking back, tricky one, huh?
Hard to say, Ross. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Otherwise, the game will go on forever if I ask every question under the sun. Um. Anyway, so you do Fords. I play help and sorry, no quarter. You get 2 hits. I get 3 hits back, which is very good for me. You say ugly.
Yeah.
Yep. I keep mustering. You play Olakai to keep buffing up. So now Western Med is like fully stacked. So we've got some big old armies here. And then we go on to turn number. Is it turn number 7? You get Ring Racer Abroad and Shadow Dolgador. I get Red Arrow and Smeagol. So nice to have scouts in this kind of situation. Keep mustering. Get the absolute full stack. Beautiful. You attack Helm's Deep from Western Met. I can't remember what happens here. Let's see. I've got some decent cards.
I think I play Mumakil here.
Yes, that does ring a bell. Let's get it on. Okay, so you play Mimikill, I play Charge. Good time for a charge. I get.
Oh, you played. That's right. You played Cured on Ships. I
Yeah.
was so happy to see that card.
Yeah, maybe that was dumb on my part, but I just Yeah.
It's not necessarily. I'm just it doesn't. They can all have to be mutually exclusive.
It just means you don't have to worry about it later. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I think I was maybe better to play. Who's in here? Boromir's in here. I could have. I wanted to keep there as another way for other purposes.
Sure.
Maybe
Sure.
just
I don't
in.
know.
Maybe just play no power too great is fine, but I don't know. I say unusual location for a Muma kill. Yeah, you don't need to see them over there. So yeah, I only got one hit from that. Probably a waste of Kieran ships there. You get 2 back. Then I get 3, so I got 4 in total. So that makes your army look a lot smaller. Then I can muster again because you stop. So it just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah.
You muster in, get an Orthanc, and then I flip the Fellowship. So the Fellowship's now hanging out in Northern Ravanian. I muster. So you muster again an Orthanc. I move the Fellowship. They are missed, thank God. You draw Turn of the Witch King. You move, get a Nazgul and a Reg in Orthanc. So you're kind of, yeah, being sensible. Pass. Okay, and then you make a Mega Stack and you leave Forts of Eisen kind of open. Yep. And now I decide, you say this has to be content worthy for one of us. And then I decide to attack into Forts of Eisen. Because what I'm concerned about is just like this army getting trapped, being unable to retreat, getting ground down. And so I decide to kind of attack into Forts of Eisen, hope it goes well, and then try and split this army. So let's see what we play. Swarm of Bats against no quarter. So I've got losing some good cards here. I get 2 hits, and you get 1 back, so that's pretty good for me. You retreat, and then so I leave half the army behind with Boromir in Helm's Deep, and quite a big army goes to Forts of Eisen. And now the game kind of changed. Yeah, the dynamics changed quite a lot here already. You decide to go for Helm's Deep. Were you tempted to go for Forts of Eisen, or?
Oh, of course. I weighed every option. I'd love feedback from anybody who watches it. I don't know what the best move was. I don't know if what I did was a bad move or not. What I was thinking is that you were going to attack Orthanc. I was going to take Forts of Eisen.
Yeah.
Take Orthanc, and then after that, I was going to pin you in.
Right.
That was the strategy, and then you could muster out of Helm's Deep. Great, sure.
But you wanted to slow it down, so I couldn't just immediately muster out of Helm's Deep. You wanted to like waste my time a bit, be a bit more annoying.
Right. Slow it down, and I'm going to kill Aragorn and Gandalf.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a think. I do go for Orthanc. Put it under siege. You naturally take Forts of Eisen. And you draw into Corsairs, which is great. And Grond. And I get Miracle Ledger on Thranduil. So naturally, I was very tempted to attack into Orthanc, but I wanted to kind of put you in 2 minds. I was like, okay, if I attack out of Helm's Deep, then I can keep mustering there and make it so it's harder for you to take Helm's Deep in the long run. And then if you attack into Helm's Deep, that gives me a free run at taking Orthanc without being forced to do a nasty field battle. I really don't want to get Gandalf and Aragorn trapped in there. That's like my worst nightmare. So I purposely am not in a rush to just get them stuck. So what did I do here?
You played that. So
I played orderly withdrawal just in case. Yeah, so I could block a hit. So I get those guys out. Now you go for Orthanc. And now we fight. And I scout away. So I didn't want to get trapped. I wanted to keep this army active. And I know that if I lose these guys 2 dice, I'm just completely screwed. It's like, that's GG, 100%. So I need to keep them in the game. And then I start going up towards Moria.
Yeah.
So just causing nonsense, really. You start mustering. I decide not to kind of go. I don't want to press Moria because there's so many good cards you could have. You could have Pits of Mordor. You could have Shadows on the Misty Mountains. You can just muster anyway while I'm heading towards it.
Where do you get your other 2 points?
And also, yeah, exactly. Where do I get my 2 points? So it's not looking pretty, but it's kind of, I'm in like a kind of annoying position where I'm just wasting your time again. Like, if anything, it's a big time wasting exercise, basically.
Yeah. Bleating being. It's what they call it, like the Navy term, fleeting being. You're just tying down everything you can.
Exactly, yeah. So then you go for Helm's Deep. I play a red tile. No, you play a red tile, sorry. I now move the Fellowship, so they're sneaking closer to Mordor. They're kind of creeping up, getting there. You draw another card, pass. Another red tile goes in. Don't like to see that. Then you draw another red tile, get shell up.
Pretty,
yeah, so you're getting good value out of the chief there. I move the Fellowship again. You miss me again. So now I'm like, oh, I could, in theory, use a ring to actually get into Mordor this turn. I'm not sure if I want to because it's going to probably be bloody and, like, you know, I'm probably going to get 2 tiles. There's a decent chance of that if we look at the hump pool. Okay, not that crazy, but, you know, like a 40% chance of getting 2 tiles. But then you Cruel Weather me, get an extra reroll as well next turn, so that's nice. No Mordor for me. And now you go for Helm's Deep. So I don't think I've got any end cards this entire game. But I do have some decent defensive cards. So I play Thranduil against Servant of the Shadow. And I think if we look at the dice, I'm not sure if the stats are coming up, but it's pretty even at the moment, pretty normal dice. Overall, I'm slightly up. You're kind of, well, not as up, but we're doing okay.
Yeah, neither one of us rolled awesome.
Yeah, but then I feel like this is when your rolls start to get a bit worse. So I get 4 hits and you get like none. So that was really big, really big for me. Beautiful valor.
I'm gonna start crying here in a little bit.
Yeah, my plan worked. Baited Thranduil's out. Yeah, the big brain play. I get Smeagol into the hat. You start getting reinforcements in Helm's Deep using the Gothmog ability, I guess.
Yeah.
So still a pretty meaty army there, even though you did just lose a bunch of guys.
Yeah, for sure.
And we go on to turn 9. Now I get Axe and Bow and Guards, and you get Musterlings and Gates are Closed. Great timing for Gates are Closed. Gothmog gets the Hero of Mordor award from letting me keep his dice forever. Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, I think I lost like my keeper die like first move both turns pretty much, and you've got Gothmog like just ride in the wave forever. But obviously, the second you say that, you then roll an eye. You jinxed it. So you get a very Palantir heavy turn. You get a very character die heavy turn, but looking like should be able to get into Mordor this turn, potentially. What did I do there? I got Elrond. I changed my mind. Yeah. Instead, I moved the Fellowship. You hit me. It's a 3 tile. That's quite painful. Lose the Hobbits. They pop out in Dimrill Dale. Corruption goes up to 5. So, yeah, very high on corruption at this point. Not looking good for the Fellowship at all. And then you play the Gates are Closed just to, like, rub it in. So I didn't realize, because again, this is like one of those kind of slightly noob things. I didn't realize you could get rid of this with a will. I really wish I'd known that.
Yeah, it's my whole plan in playing that was just so you'd kill the Will of the West.
Yeah, so wasting one of my die. So it's a good value either way, right? I get rid of Warn with Sorin Told, then you explain what you explained earlier in the chat. That it's technically, even though I had played Wind from the West, but still, it's just like rules, right? So now I'm like, let's just thread in some nonsense. So I start buffing up Lorien. You go for Helm's Deep again. We come to kill against a mighty attack. You get 3 hits. That's decent. I get 2 back because of the mighty attack. Your post gets 1. So my army's starting to shrink. Only 3 HP left there. So yeah, Boromir's looking pretty dead. And you attack again, but now I use Heroic Death and Boromir. Oh, so yeah, I say of course because it's like the Heroic Death does nothing. But I can't complain too much. You didn't hit me. Then you attack again. No cards. I play my this felt bad. This felt really bad. But
yeah, that's a tough one.
I just kind of felt like I needed to try and prolong this fight. Just to stay in the game a bit longer as well. It's kind of, I don't know. I think that was probably a mistake.
Yeah, Probably just because it doesn't look like you can hold it. I don't think you can hold it.
Yeah, I think if there's, I mean, I think I made a lot of mistakes this game, probably because I was just kind of winging it. But I think a lot of it was just giving away really good cards in a too many good cards in combat when I could have used them and wasted more of your time on the board. Stuff like Power to Great, There Is Another Way, Kieran Ships. Those cards would have been potentially pivotal later on in the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I just kind of quite cheaply threw them away. Without, I think I probably like you get a hit, save a hit here or there, but yeah, in retrospect, like it was the value was just not worth it. However, does keep this alive longer. I do get a bunch of hits against you, and does keep Boromir and his little crew hanging on, which opens up me potentially retaking Orthanc.
I know it. This is where I'm starting to get like, God bless. This is supposed to be an easy game. I've won. Just hurry up and die, please.
How is he not dead? Yeah. That's it. It's like, oh, like, because you look at this now, it's like, well, if I get really lucky, there is an outside chance of me doing something here, right?
Yeah, I mean, most likely I'm going to win the corruption game at this point, but still, crazier things have happened.
Yeah, exactly. So you're forced to use a ring there to muster an Orthanc, which is a good play. I attack Orthanc, put under siege, and then you're forced to use your Shadow's Gather to defend Moria, which is a nice play.
This slowed me down so much.
But it slows down your military a lot because it makes Rivendell suddenly like the 6 ain't going to take Rivendell. No. So buys me a lot of time.
Whether that was a mistake or not, I don't know, but it's hard not to when you're in that shape.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably wise. You don't have any of the muster cards really to muster. I mean, you could. I guess the alternative would have been to use the ring to muster once more and more, but then it might just die. You might just lose it. Like, at least you're definitely safe now.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I said maybe I should have done it the wrong because I do think this was a minor error. I should have used the first. If I put this under siege,
yes,
100%. You can't do that. And then if I put this under siege, you're going to have to either fight a field battle or you're only going to get 1 HP difference if you.
Exactly.
So it's not. Yeah, that was another little error. So now I decide to just go for it. I've got this charge, which is a good card with this army. So I'm like, it's kind of, but it's a bit desperate because there's no way I'm taking Moria now.
Right.
So.
And if you kill Saruman, that's 1 die off the.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I needed another like avenue to point. So I was thinking maybe if I get like through a day and a night, I could go for Gundabad if you have a really bad dice roll. But that's like kind of like threading the eye of a needle.
There, your best bet would probably be cities using.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. Yeah, getting
Cyrdan's already played though. That's the bad thing. Cyrdan's just played. So
that was a mistake, especially given the fact that like I had lots of mustering left, and I had I don't need to defend Woodland Realm because I've got so much defense here that I can cover Woodland Realm with other armies, and I can't muster in Rivendell anyway. So like Círdan's would have had extra value. So my charge whiffs. I only get 1 hit, and then you get 4 hits against me, and I'm like, well, that didn't go very well. And I say reverse those rolls, very different game. Because I mean, it's true. If I had got the reverse of those rolls there, I think that means Orthanc is on the ropes, and I've got a decent shot of actually making a military game. But that's just how it goes. And I took a punt, didn't come off. And I kind of, that's the point I was like, yeah, I think that's probably GG in my mind. Not that I had much of a chance anyway. Okay, Bilbo Song through the end of night. Okay, so just as I was thinking about through the end of night, I draw it. You get Fighting Uruk-hai, which is also nice. You're trying to kill Helm's Deep. Wormtongue. So I guess you're just thinking, this is just an awkward game, but you're going to get there eventually, right?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So I decided to just... Actually, no, I rethink this. I decided to just play through the end of night just to get these guys out of there. I really it would have been crazy for you to sortie, but I just didn't want to be in a situation where these guys just get stuck. And if all it would take was for you to like put an army in fords, and
Sure.
block me. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's the right play, but I really just that was my fear. If I lose those 2 dice, I'm 100% screwed. You start moving armies across. I move the Fellowship. Finally, going to get into Mordor. You start moving armies around. I put a guy in Eastern Met and move them towards the Fangorn and Aragorn army to Path Celebrant. You buff up the Helms Deep army, make it super strong. You switch Witch Kings. You switch King. I then have Bilbo's Song. That helps a lot.
Sure.
You fighting Uruk-hai. I think at this point it finally falls, right? You get 3 hits straight away. Yeah, so that was well overdue, but he goes down. Now you're up to 6 victory points, but it's like, where'd you get the remaining victory points? That's your problem, right?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, Rivendell looks like, because the pressure's off of Moria, like you can take it, but you're not going to get 2 other points.
Yeah, exactly. And then just grind down Dol Amroth.
Yeah, something.
Yeah,
so.
something like that. So now I get Elrond, just for his die. I probably should have done that ages ago as well. You're moving your armies across to threaten Dol Amroth. I make a mega stack in Path Celebrant. I can't remember what I'm even planning here. You get another red tile in there, so you've got 3 red tiles in the pool now. Can't wait to get into Mordor, which I now finally do. I should have used my will there to kill. If I'd known about it, I would have killed the gates are closed, because I was already safely in Mordor at this point. But as a result, you get 2 hits on me, so I get revealed. Up to 5 corruption. Oh, but I don't get revealed because I've got Gollum, so I decide not to reveal because I don't want another tile. So I just stay there. And then we go on to turn number 11. So I move straight away.
Definitely winnable at this point if you
get lucky.
If you get out. Right.
Yeah, I mean,
obviously you have to dodge the reds, but if you hit an eye like right now, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's exactly, yeah. And I mean, like, it's a bad pool, but the eyes aren't bad right now, as you say. There's 3 nice tiles, 2 okay tiles. It's not too bad. I get a great tile to start off with, up to 6 corruption. What card did you have? Any? You do have Lure of the Ring and Morgul Wound. Okay, I thought you would at least have one of those. You put the final red tile in the pool. I move again. I get another good tile.
In hindsight, I think it would have been better for you to reveal and just take the Morgul Wound, because it's going to happen anyways.
At some point.
Right. And you've got the dice to hide, so you hide right away and boom.
Do I have the dice to hide though at this point?
Well, you did. You moved twice. That first time.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Got you. Okay, now you get the mouth. So yeah, I just need like a crazy run of luck in Mordor, basically. But I've managed to just be annoying enough to prolong the game to give myself like an outside shot. You move armies over here. I guess you're planning to do Corsairs. Yeah. Right. And get Rivendell sorted out. So yeah, it's looking like end times for the 3 people now.
Yeah, I've got Grond and
yeah, and now it's like, man, should have held onto that kid and ships. Should have really held onto that kid and ships. It's funny because like when I watch other people's games, I would always be like, why are you playing like There Is Another Way and kid and ships in battle? This is insane. But I felt like I just had to survive. But in retrospect, yeah, dumb stuff. Corsairs puts Dol Amroth under siege. Okay. You're moving across even more reinforcements. So yeah, you could you win this turn? Yeah, you could. You've got an attack and a Grond. But the Witch King. Where's the Witch King? Oh, you can't quite because the Witch King's in the wrong place.
No, I can't.
Yeah, right, but almost.
Yeah, I remember this now. It's calculated a little.
Yeah.
I was thinking I could this turn.
Very close. So I moved this Path Celebrant army over here to try and like again be kind of annoying to like threaten a retake of Helm's Deep, or something. Maybe I should have moved that army. The tricky thing was that like I could have moved it down south, but then I leave Lorien open, and I don't want you to get a cheap Lorien, so I have to kind of balance my options.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
but
chess game.
exactly. But I do get one guy in fold, which reopens up the Rohan force pool,
Yep.
which wastes your time a little bit more. The Witch King heads over to Dol Amroth. A bunch of other Nazgul fly up north to Rivendell. Everyone else flies around. You say sigh. And then you use a ring to...
what am I doing?
defending Helm's Deep. I guess, were you worried about me taking back Helm's Deep there because of my remaining
Yeah,
dice?
yeah, because I guess had you could have taken Fort's Eyes and then next turn.
Yeah, and I guess... yeah.
I guess. Whatever. I don't know. We're retired. Maybe.
Yeah, it was a pretty long game at this point. Oh yeah, and then I moved across Legolas to Dale because
Block that. Yeah, last VP maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, just to make it just a little bit, because I knew that 4 could attack into here at some point. So it's a lot of leadership moving around basically, but we go on to the next turn number 12.
So that's really well played. Like you had you bought yourself time already. It's a miracle given the bad the bad luck draws and the hunt and the way everything has went. So you're within victory range. Not likely, but still within range.
Yeah, I think if I'd just taken the passive route and just tried to march the Fellowship, I would have just lost and died. I think he would have just, ground out a military victory, or I would have just died to corruption anyway. So, as crazy as it seems, like this kind of strategy has somehow, I mean, I could have, if you'd had like different corruption cards, if you'd had like, I don't know, Orc Patrol and Falcon from the Deep, and you'd just like peppered the Fellowship, I could have been really screwed, like Candles for Corpses and stuff like that. But I got a bit lucky. I get a shit ton of movement. And I play Weeper the Swifter. Ah, yeah, this is good. I forgot about this. And then I get the Gandyman into Dol Amroth. Oh, yeah. So I bet you love to see that.
For sure.
So you move your leadership away because there's no point of it being there anymore. You then play Grond up in Rivendell. I can't remember this. Surely just dies straight away. Yeah, you just rinse it with a Deadly Strife. One guy survives, and you get a 6. So yeah, Rivendell's down. You're on 8 victory points. And I do one roll against you. This is funny. I forgot to roll Elrond's die. I ask if I can do it like late, and you're like, yeah, sure. I roll it, and then I roll a goddamn eye.
I remember that. That was funny.
Yeah, I was like, can I not have it? Then you're like, thanks, pal. So yeah, I was like, imagine if I lost because of that, because I died to use a die that I'd forgotten to roll. So yeah, my keeper die luck was just abysmal this game. So what happens here? You're moving.
I don't even know what I'm doing here.
Why
did I move?
I guess you're trying to get reinforcements across. Oh, because I'm building up the Lamadin army. I was building up an army in Lamadin that you want to deal with, I think.
Why move out of Rivendell? Where am I going there?
Oh, that army. Yeah, maybe you just had extra dice. You were thinking about Lorien. Oh, I think you were thinking about Lorien, probably.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I have enough dice to.
That could be a cheap victory point, right? I play Athelas. I get nothing. Screw you, Athelas. You Shadow Lengthens. Oh, that's a nice Shadow Lengthens, yeah. So now you've got a big army in Northern Ravanian and a big army in Moria, which is threatening Rivendell. Sorry, not Rivendell, Lorien. Sorry.
I see what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm thinking you're going to take Edoras to keep the hope alive.
Exactly, yeah. So I say 3. I've either got to try and move 3 times, get 3 perfect tiles, which is theoretically possible if I got like a... Yeah, it's definitely possible, but highly unlikely. Or I try and defend by taking back Edoras and getting this army back into Lorien, or I do a bit of both. I think I try and do a bit of both. You see, we're getting slightly more inebriated by the minute, so maybe that was to my advantage as well. So yeah, so I decided to defend. You move the army. Move the army to Dimble Dale. The big army there. So then I get into Lorien to defend that. The which was this Gothmog starts heading around to Dol Amroth because he's really useful there against Gandhi.
And I think my play really starts going downhill here because
maybe
I'm
the beers are starting to
yeah, I guarantee it.
Yeah. I definitely find by like hour 3 or hour 2, my play goes down like 20-30%. I think I just start getting brain fog. All right, so I move, and I finally hit a red tile. So I was kind of expecting at any moment just for it to the game just to abruptly end, because all it would take is like basically like a red eye, then you play Lord of the Ring or this or a Shelob. But luckily for me, it's only a 2. So I'm still in the game. I'm still hanging in there. And you say you misplayed anyway. So I think that was something to do with moving the leadership around, because I think you theory could have won this turn.
Yeah, I think I should have. Since I moved leadership twice, I should have moved the mouth out of whatever that is, Druid Forest.
Oh, I see.
Then,
right.
And then I could have gotten them over to Northern Ravania and potentially to set up a siege of Woodland Realm and get a free press and all that.
Yeah, makes sense. So you get a Hill Trolls. That's really nice. That did not fill me with joy. I muster up in Fold, and again extra ground Erebor. So yeah, you just so now you got to take DA without any particularly good cards. Yeah, no good cards at all for
I should have rolled into Northern Ravania and moved leadership there and attacked there instead of.
Oh, I see. Just to get that dealt with, right?
Yeah, I mean, because I have to get 6/6s with 5 dice every time.
Yeah, and that's going to be so rough. Okay, so we go on to turn number 13. I get King Brands, good timing for that, and Elven Cloaks. You get Foul Thing and Denethor's Folly. So you do have like a wild card, try and shot to hurt me if you get really desperate.
Yeah.
I move. I get a 0 reveal. That's huge. And now you're like probably getting a bit concerned.
Yeah, I'm looking at my options and I'm like, okay, so I'm thinking I have to break a do stronghold, and
right.
like, how do I do it? Because no matter what, everybody's strong.
That's it. So you move from North Anduin Vale to Dimrald Dale.
No, I undid
you undid that. You undid that. You go for Dol Amroth. Okay. I shine. No card. Shield Wall. You roll 1 hit. I get 3 back. You stop. God, I wish I had Kid on ships right now. God damn it. Such a mistake. Elven Cloaks goes in the pool. You muster in Dol Amroth.
Yeah. So I was looking. I either had to use the dice to combine those 2 armies in the north, take Dale, knowing that's going to be horrible.
Yeah.
And then take one of the strongholds, or I use all those musters to keep rebuilding at Dol Amroth and just hope I roll a bunch of 6s.
And just keep grinding it down. Hope you roll a 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of. Yeah, moving 2 times is very risky. I'm just very aware that like I could die at any moment.
Yeah, you don't have any options.
Yeah, so that's it. Mithril was not. Yeah, hoping I get Mithril. Start having go Gothmog. I go for Edoras. I get a 6. You get a 6 back, so I take that back, wasting a little bit more time. You muster again in Dol Amroth. I pass. You attack Dol Amroth. Shine. Let's see what cards we've got. I've got a Valor and a Shield Wall. Some part of me is like, the Shield, like King Brands. I should have just played King Brands up here at some point. I don't know why I didn't. I think I was like,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was weird.
It would have shut dude down.
Yeah.
It would have been over.
I feel like I made some bad. I feel like looking at this back, I feel I played a lot worse than I thought I did. But yeah, probably just tiredness. Why did I want that? What else was I going to use this muster die for? I don't know. Maybe I was thinking maybe I needed this for the ring to move. Maybe that's why.
I don't know.
why I was not sure. But anyway, so you roll badly again. I get 3 hits on you again, and now it's looking pretty bad in Dol Amroth. Oh,
Yeah, my eyes
I
are
wanted
starting
to muster in Edoras. Okay, that's what I used it for, to muster in Edoras to give me a chance of holding that. If you can't take Erebor. You go for Dale. This is an interesting one.
Yep.
Okay. So Valor against They Are Terrible. You get, sorry, 2. I get 4. So now we've got 7 against 2 HP. No, sorry.
Yeah, 4 again.
7,
4
yeah,
HP.
4 HP, right. We get a Black Breath against a Shield Wall. So I did use the King Brands, but for a less efficient purpose.
Sure.
But it does block a hit.
Yeah, I had 2 hits.
2 and a leader. I get 3 hits. So now it's 4 against 2. And a leader. Also 4 against 3 HP, sorry. Now we get They Are Terrible. You get the 4 hits that you need.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah. The 3 hits you need. I get 1. I got 3 rerolls. I get 3 5s. And everyone dies. Everyone dies.
Yep.
Which means that you
You're right.
cannot win the game this turn, because even if you
I'm so pissed off at this point. I'm so mad.
Because you've got a great chance of taking down Edoras, a reasonable chance of taking down Edoras, and then you've got a okay chance of taking Dol Amroth, but that was like, yeah, gives me a chance. And I say, I think I'm still screwed.
Yeah, I'm crying right now.
I keep mustering in Edoras. You go for Lamadon to try and take that down. Stop me keep mustering there. You just kill it in one fell swoop. That dies. And here, I think this is a mistake. I should have moved. I was thinking, if I move here, the problem, this is, again, another big mistake, because there's a reasonable chance that you, I don't know. Eyes kill me.
Move here, right? Because you can draw Mithril Code next turn.
That's true. I could draw Mithril Code next turn, and I would kill me. I mean, and I would probably kill me next turn anyway, because... Well, actually, having said that, I've got Galadriel, right? But anyway, so I don't move. I'm relying on probably that kind of thing. I probably need 2 movement next turn, knowing I have
safe paths in the dark is still out there. That's a heal card.
Yeah. You start moving armies towards Dol Amroth and to Western Met, and we go into a crucial turn number 14. I roll 1 movement.
Oh, yeah, I remember this. I remember.
So I say, here goes nothing. I move. It's an eye. So I'm dead. I have to use the ring. And then I get Smeagol helps Nice Master. And now I'm like, I'm so close.
I can't fucking move.
It's not fucking move. I'm like, I've against all the odds, like I've somehow got to here, and I'm still, and it's just, oh man, just cock blocked on the final move. It's just, so cruel. I mean, I might have died anyway, but at this point, like, I mean, an eye kills me. Yes, an eye does kill me. Still, but
you used There Is Another Way back then to do nothing.
Exactly, that's it. It's all these like here and ships. But it's true. Like you're so right though. Like if I just held on to like my strong cards, and to be honest, like in most games I do. What I did this game isn't how I normally play. I normally hold on to like those cards for defensive purposes. I think I was just so caught up in this like I'm doing mad stuff with Strider and like Aragorn and Gandalf. So I'm just gonna play all my cards and just like be really like loose about it. But lo and behold, yeah, like playing your best cards.
That's crazy. Had you had There Is Another Way, what is that? 11 tiles. So 3 out of 11.
If I'd held on to that, that's it, man.
Just
if
over 70% chance.
70% chance of winning, and also if I had Kid and Ships, you know, are you going to take Dol Amroth this turn? certainly no guarantee. So yeah, I can't. Well, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I draw their safe pass in the dark. You attack Edoras. It goes down. I stay. Yeah, it dies. So you're up to 8 victory points. You got 4 attacks and a ring. So you got 5 attacks. I play this. So now, the eyes don't kill me. But you, as you said in the chat shortly afterwards, you could have used a ring to add an eye. So you could have switched it back again to eyes killing me, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Had you had another option, I could have.
Yeah, exactly. Dreadful spells against Minas Tirith. I'm guessing you meant DA.
Yeah, DA.
Yeah, but it whiffs. I don't know what I'm just using dice for the sake of it. You attack Dolamroth, and then you just roll like an absolute monster roll. Because I was thinking, like, I mean, I've been lucky to survive this long in Dolamroth anyway. So it was overdue. At this point, you are up 7 6s after this literal roll. So you were like on plus 3 6s, I guess, and that roll just tips it.
That's a great. Anytime you're plus 3 or better, Shadow,
you're doing pretty decent. Yeah, mine are like pretty just completely even. I've got lots of 2s. Wow, you're negative 10 on eyes. Jesus.
Yeah, I had very fortunate rolls.
Yeah, or that in a way, like that did make this run possible with the Fellowship. They had a pretty smooth run.
Yeah. So I mean, as cool as it is, hats off because you made it right there. It sucks to lose that last step, but
yeah, and then eventually
you just make it that freaking close. And look, you fire back with like 4 or 5 hits of your.
Yeah, so that's what made it even more frustrating. Is that like if I had somehow, if you'd whiffed, I might have still won the game.
Yeah.
Because I probably would have survived this turn with this arm potentially. I mean, I still would have had to get pretty lucky, but you didn't have any great cards. Your cards you didn't have great card luck in the second half of the game. I feel like you didn't have. I suppose you've been through most of the deck by this point, but
especially this battle.
I feel like there's probably still
every battle of Dolamroth I couldn't play a card.
Yeah, they're just awkward cards. So I do just a stupid attack on Edoras, which fails obviously, and then you finish me off. Oh no, this is it. Yeah, it comes down to like the final die, doesn't it? You have 1 die. And I was like, oh my god, I might actually survive with a single HP in Dolamroth, and then you get your 6 and it's GG. So even that was close because you only had 1 reroll. I mean, you could have pressed. I
had to press.
So your odds were like massive in your favor. And then I see what Tyler would have got, but so when I pulled it, it was a red tile, but it's on a clock. You said.
That's my understanding, and somebody else can explain it if they know better. But most of these things run on a clock, so that you can't replay that tile.
You can't just be like, this would have 100% been the tile that would have come out, right?
Exactly. If you waited 2 more seconds and drew it again, it would have been something different.
Yeah. Well, great game. Amazing that it came down to the wire like that. I feel like I'm kind of again frustrating because I think I did some really decent stuff and then some really dumb stuff in between. Like if I had just held on to those really strong cards, like the value I got out of that charge and that, heroic death was just so nothing compared to like, because I mean, I almost 100% would have held both this and had a shot at dunking if I'd played those cards.
Head turn on ships, absolutely, you're done. You've won.
Yeah, unless I hit like I know a really bad tile here. I mean, I did have a lucky run in Mordor as well. You did like have some like the fact you just weren't even rolling eyes in Mordor, like how you must have seen so many games where you get into Mordor, suddenly the shadow starts rolling 3, 4, 5 eyes every turn out of nowhere, and
of course
1 eye just like butchers the Fellowship. But yeah, cool game, man. Cool game.
Absolutely, yes, sir. Very fun. So yeah, thanks for having me, Ross. This has been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks, Sean, man. Thanks for coming on the channel. Always a pleasure. And as I said before, I'll put a link to your channel as well in the notes below. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. And peace out. See you next time. Ciao, ciao.